The one that wants to hang out with them and play sports with them, like, that's just how it's going to be. So I'm really appreciative of that.
I think hopefully this team can uphold, sort of the culture and the level of success and compete.
I always wanted to be the best, and there was times where I definitely wasn't or I failed, but you get back up and you keep trying.
College basketball has ever seen.
A deep one. You bet! Caitlin Clark!
Picture this. You're Cheryl Reeve, head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. You've been in the WNBA game for years. Then this rookie comes along and suddenly arenas are selling out, fans are going wild, and the energy is off the charts. That's the Caitlin Clark effect, and even Reeve couldn't resist it for long. I have a little favor to ask of you before we go forward. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the videos. Of those that see the videos, more than 98% do not subscribe. Even though it doesn't cost you anything, it has a significant impact on us. Was the subscribe button clicked by you? Very well, I am incredibly grateful. We will now return to the video.
I think we mirror what's happening, obviously in the WNBA, and
College basketball has ever seen.
A deep one. You bet! Caitlin Clark!
I think hopefully this team can uphold, sort of the culture and the level of success and compete.
The waves, though. These aren't small waves, they're massive tsunamis. What could possibly sway the mind of an experienced coach like Cheryl Reeve regarding a rookie? The response may surprise you. All of this occurred during a game that will be remembered for all time in WNBA history. A matchup ensued between the Minnesota Lynx and the Indiana Fever, with Caitlin Clark at the helm. Obviously, this wasn't your average matchup. It was the kind of confrontation that would make even the most ardent doubters pay notice. Think about it. It's the fourth quarter, and the outcome of the game is hanging in the balance. Clark then made the decision to reveal to everyone why she has been making a big deal. She scored a game-winning basket in the last stanza to help the Fever pull off an incredible 81-74 upset over the Lynx. However, things start to get intriguing at this point. Is Cheryl Reeve still in mind? The head coach who infamously brushed off Clark's influence? What she had just seen was too important for her to disregard. Unexpectedly, Reeve lauded Clark after the game, which caught everyone unawares. Indeed, you are correct. Now the coach who had previously stated that she couldn't care less about Clark's fan support was behaving in a completely opposite manner. Clark had incredible pace and remarkable passing abilities, which Reeve praised. Personally, I think her two strongest suits are passing and pace. Even though the logo 3 is arguably the sexiest portion, I think what really sets her apart is the way she moves and the way she passes. What a radical change of direction. So what caused the abrupt shift in opinion? Talent is self-evident. That much is clear. It was impossible to deny that Clark delivered an outstanding performance, the sort of performance that compels even the most critical audiences to recognize brilliance when they witness it. Nonetheless, this goes beyond a single game and the whims of a single coach. All over the WNBA, Clark is making an impression. Imagine exciting atmospheres, sellout crowds, and a newfound vigor for the league. Contemplate it. When was the previous occasion that a WNBA rookie caused such a stir? Clark is altering the very fabric of women's basketball, not merely individual games, because of the high stakes and anticipated sold-out crowds that would result from a Clark appearance. Teams are rushing to promote their games against the Fever. A league can be completely changed by this kind of momentum. It brings back memories of the 1980s when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird brought new life to the NBA. Is it possible that women's basketball is also experiencing a turning point? It is difficult to disregard the evidence. People are flocking to the shows. Clark is getting an A+ rating on television, and everyone is talking about him online. On the other hand, statistics aren't everything. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is experiencing an energy level not seen in years. One could assume that Caitlin Clark is merely another up-and-coming rookie. The most important thing is that she is changing the entire WNBA, not just individual games. Just how? Even the most devoted basketball fans might be surprised by the answer. The Clark effect is something we should explore. Her point total isn't the only metric that matters. No, this is much more profound. We're talking about league-wide excitement, tremendous atmospheres, and sold-out venues. Clark always draws sold-out crowds wherever he performs, an environment more akin to a college Final Four than a normal season WNBA game is being created by the enthusiastic and engaged fans. In the 1980s, the NBA was revitalized by Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Do you remember them? It is possible that we are witnessing the exact same thing happen again. Clark is a phenomenon, not only a player. Not only is she attracting new viewers to WNBA games, but she is also providing longtime fans with fresh reasons to cheer. The spectators are important, but they aren't the only ones. All parts of the league are feeling the Clark effect. Many teams are rushing to get her signature look. A good example would be the Phoenix Mercury. GOAT versus the Rook is the claim they're making when advertising their match versus the Fever. Yes, they are elevating Clark to the same status as Diana Taurasi, the basketball legend. What a brilliant piece of advertising. This may be a game changer for the whole league, not just some empty hype. This is a first-year player who is not only meeting, but exceeding expectations. Aside from filling seats, she's also populating highlight reels, social media feeds, and segments on sports discussion shows. However, things start to get intriguing at this point. Caitlin Clark isn't the only one in the Clark effect. All eyes are on her because she embodies a fresh chapter in women's basketball history. In this golden age, the Women's National Basketball Association is front and center in a world where female basketball players are well-known figures in popular culture and among sports fans. Contemplate it. How long has it been since a WNBA player was the center of so much attention?
Kind of getting everybody, here for the first time. We practiced a couple times and play a game that we knew.
The one that wants to hang out with them and play sports with them, like, that's just how it's going to be. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Yeah, and we haven't really got that layered yet. And so I think we have really good basketball players that know how to play.
People who have never been to a women's basketball game before are now rushing to get tickets. When was the last time that happened to you? A league can be completely changed by this kind of momentum. But the future is at stake, not merely the here and now. Clark is serving as an inspiration to a new crop of young players. She is motivating the next generation of basketball greats by breaking barriers and establishing new standards. The sport of basketball benefits from that, not only the WNBA. Can one player really make that much of a difference? You may be asking. The statistics speak for themselves. People are flocking to the shows. Clark is getting an A+ rating on television, and everyone is talking about him online. However, numbers aren't everything. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is experiencing an energy level not seen in years. The real question is whether the WNBA is prepared to ride this tide of interest in Clark. The fate of women's sports is in the hands of the league, which is at a crossroads and must decide how to go. The WNBA's future is something we should discuss. We are not witnessing a passing fad with Caitlin Clark's dominance in the league. In women's basketball, we may be seeing the beginning of a new era. However, will the league be ready to make the most of this upsurge? Even coach Cheryl Reeve, who downplayed Clark's influence before, is now praising him. By recognizing Clark's ability, she is essentially highlighting a fantastic opportunity for the whole league. According to Reeve, the WNBA should look into other opportunities to cash in on the interest in players like Clark. Creating a long-term future for women's basketball is more important than making a profit. Contemplate it. When was the last time the WNBA generated so much interest? As a matter of fact, sellout crowds are quickly becoming the standard. In order to handle the ever-increasing numbers of spectators, the Indiana Fever are relocating their games to bigger grounds. Not only is this a Caitlin Clark effect, but it also shows the potential of the WNBA. However, things start to get intriguing at this point. It's not limited to Clark. Angel Reese is just one of many players who is getting a lot of attention. A new crop of superstars is emerging, and they could shake up the league as a whole. The issue now is how the WNBA can channel this enthusiasm into sustained success. The league just cannot afford to take a back seat and cross its fingers. Quick thinking and decisive action are required. We're discussing revamping the league's organizational structure, increasing media attention, and transforming marketing tactics. With this opportunity, the WNBA may elevate itself from the status of a fringe sport to that of a prominent figure in the entertainment sector. Envision a society where the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is as popular as the National Basketball Association, NBA, and young women aspire to play professional basketball at the same level as young males. We might be surprised at how close that world is. Still, we must not rush things. Difficulties must be surmounted. Is there anything the league can do to make sure this popularity boom isn't short-lived? How can they get more people excited besides the main players? How can they make money off of all this interest? That is the most critical question. These are the kinds of things the WNBA brass can't sleep about. Problems like these are beneficial though. Concerning the number of spectators at games is a whole different kettle of fish. The WNBA's trajectory in the years and months to come will be determined by the choices taken. Are they going to be cautious or daring? Will they continue using the same strategies, or will they create new guidelines for how a major league sports league functions? Without a doubt, the opportunity exists. Arenas have the same electrifying energy that Clark remembers from her college days when she performs. However, this is not the college I went to. The stakes have never been higher, and we're in the majors. A decision must be made by the WNBA. On the one hand, we have the cautious optimist who advocates for gradual change. However, there is also the option of taking this present moment and running with it, of daring to change.
Can do things that are unscripted. Some of the actions that you were talking about, where they're just playing after the initial.
And then obviously college basketball has come true, and then hopefully the WNBA here.
Movement that we get and playing different lineups.
I always wanted to be the best, and there was times where I definitely wasn't or I failed, but you get back up and you keep trying.
The future of women's basketball may be bright or bleak depending on the direction they take. You might recall that Cheryl Reeve stated that Caitlin Clark wasn't someone she give two shots about. Well, that was then. Reeve was unable to contain his admiration for Clark following her heroic performance against the Lynx. The speed and movement are her defining characteristics, Reeve conceded. The worst part is that this is only the start. Clark is already shaking up the WNBA, and she's just a rookie. Her everywhere she goes, sellout audiences are trailing behind. Reeve made the observation, everybody knows that the reason why our teams around the league are having sellouts are because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are coming to town. Imagine the state of women's basketball in 5 years if Clark continues down this path. Will the league undergo a radical change? The future is uncertain, but one thing is certain, the Clark era is only beginning.